Welcome. Hey, for those of you, we just had a quick little meditation, and we're claiming that now's the time for you. You get this great 45 to 50 minutes max because we are really zooming in on time. We we value each other, in our council, and we value your time, of course. So yeah, so this is something, hey, a tip you can use when you go into organizations or you're meeting with people. Give them a moment to compress. Okay, don't just jump right into the content. Give them a moment to decompress. Maybe just a word or phrase to have them acknowledge how they're feeling. What are they experiencing? And when you create that as a culture in your council, mastermind, group, circle, whatever it is, it just creates such a sense of presentness. So notice, how do you feel now versus when you came in? I'd love, put it in the chat. How are you feeling now? I'm feeling so much more connected to each of you. Thank you. Thank you for this gift. Be able to breathe. Yeah, yeah. So feeling a little bit more centered, a little more relaxed. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. More space to breathe. Thank you. Very good. Thank you, Gloria. Yeah, yeah. So we blend practical, real world strategies with heart-centered wholeness, and of course, all the business stuff, because we like to get up in your business in a good way. So there we go. Okay, good. And all the while filling up our very, 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 very big cups, right? We got big cups, girls. Okay, Angela, I just held up my sparkly cup that if you are a council member, check your postage coming to you for a very new little gift coming to you. Okay, all right. Let's get into it. This is such an important topic because I want to share with you the data, but I want to more so get into the conversation with you because I have been really getting into this and really focusing in on what some say could in fact be the next pandemic. Like, no kidding. And so put in the chat, what are you seeing around burnout? What are you seeing about stressors with your clients, with the people you're in? And what are you seeing? Okay, put it in the chat. And so, hey, I'm Kathleen Caldwell, founder of C-Suite Networks, Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. Hey, I have dealt with burnout. And I'm going to share with you just a quick story, but I just want to just quickly go through you a quick recap. My gosh, we've had incredible programs every Thursday at 1 Eastern. We know you can't attend everything. That's okay. But as a council member, we want to, and we promote you, showcase you, and highlight you, invite you to lead programs. So we've got so many great programs always. And every Thursday, it's a lot. We know that. But that's okay, because guess what? We have now new initiatives, forward focusing programs to serve our clients, our corporate clients, our women executives, our men and women in business. So we are forward out there in the world presenting things that invite people to come talk to us. Okay. So if you attended last Thursday, if you didn't, check out the YouTube replay. We invited a corporate expert, uh, uh, Katie Thornson, who knows so much. She's got the pulse on what's happening in corporate, and she showed us so many new things that were very enlightening about what's happening with executives, what's happening in the workforce. It was a spectacular program. So we're inviting more of our corporate partners to come in and talk with us, okay? Because guess what? Then we get to showcase them, highlight them, build relationships for you to work with them as well as coaches and consultants. Okay, so I'm just going to fly through this. We've had so many great programs. Gloria, thank you to you. Your program was fantastic on DEIB, very timely. And of course, we had a panel discussion about a month ago talking about how to become the category of one. Carol Canamer, thank you to you. We're so excited about your upcoming program that's starting. Thank you for your program. Susan K. Younger, Humanitarianism. Angela, you've led programs for us. Christina, you led programs for us. All of you have. And we're so excited, Molly, to get you scheduled to lead your next program. Okay. And of course, big shout out for Carol Kammerer. She's got a new executive influence revolution she's starting and the founders group. So be sure to connect. If you're even watching the replay, connect with Carol. You can see her website at the bottom. Okay. So ladies, burnout, sisters, it is real. This is not just stress. Okay. This is another level of people experiencing, and you can read from the definition here. There's clinical definitions. And just my disclaimer here, as coaches and consultants and trusted advisors, we know when to refer. Okay. And I highly recommend having relationships with your local therapists that like, and trust, your licensed clinical social workers, your professional therapists, your professionals that are in the wellness community, your psychological wellness referrals. Be sure to have people that you can refer to, because as coaches, there's a line that we do not cross. And that line, one of the lines is when it gets into restorative issues about one of our clients' past, their childhood, trauma, things like this. And I'm noticing coaches starting to get into the trauma area, and I'm very concerned about that. Okay. I believe that we should stay in our lane and know when to refer. Okay. So if a client talks to you about, hey, I'm concerned about, and I'm just going to bring this up so we get it out of the way, self-harm, concerned about harming themselves or others, or they have issues that they are unresolved from past traumas, we must immediately refer to a professional that deals in that. Okay. We can continue working with them, of course, on their work issues, their professional, their life issues. But when it gets to that restorative state, please refer with loving kindness. Okay. And so if you have questions about how to do that, contact me immediately. And I have a whole protocol on how to do that. And I've been a professional coach since 1998. I have a lot of experience in how to do this. And many of you all do too. Okay. So what we're talking about today is professional burnout. Okay. And it is different than stress. Like, hey, I've got a deadline. I've got, I've got new projects I've got to work on. And we deal with stress too as coaches and consultants, but burnout is prolonged. Okay. And it is not only with employees, it's about executives. Everyone in the workforce now is feeling this. So some of the symptoms of burnout, and I'd love for one of you, I want to get your voices in here. Would you read the kind of these tabs, a couple tabs, and somebody else can jump in as well. But burnout is characterized by the World Health Organization by these symptoms. So would someone like to jump in and just do some reading here? I'd love to get your voice in.
Sure. I'll read maybe the top three and then let somebody else go.
Yep. And then Carol, jump in. Yeah, thank you.
Mental exhaustion, difficulty concentrating and fogginess, feeling of resentment, dissatisfaction, and unappreciation, lower professional efficiency at one's job.
Thank you.
Chest pains, palpitations, anxiety and depression. Somebody else?
Thank you.
Exhaustion and chronic fatigue.
Oh, yes.
Productivity.
Molly, jump in. Hey, listen, ladies, there's enough to go around here.
A lack of motivation, isolation, and cynicism.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Yes. So taking these in, like looking at these words, I mean, this is real stuff here. And so I just want to pause and kind of get your reaction to what are you seeing? Because I want to share with you next the actual data, okay, that's happening. What are you seeing? What are you hearing reported from your clients, from your communities. And, we're kind of focused in on, yes, we can talk about coaches and consultants because guess what? We're dealing with all this as well, and we cannot, how can we possibly serve others if our cup is depleted too? So, this is important for everyone. Yes. But, thinking about this as, we're the trusted advisors here, heal thyself. And then, of course, at the same time, help others. But what are you hearing that's happening out there? And I want to share the data that's going to really shock you here next. Yeah. What are you hearing?
I'll jump in. I mean, I'm
Please,
hearing
Gloria.
I'm hearing a lot of uncertainty. We live in really crazy times right now, lots of companies laying off. And so uncertainty brings fear, and fear brings all those other components. So I think a lot of what I'm hearing is people are worried, about their job, their stability, how their company is doing, how the economy is impacting it, what the impact of tariffs will be. And so it's just, I think burnout has been on the rise, and now we've just got like the perfect storm that's just going to probably drive those numbers up.
And
Those
wait.
numbers up.
That's right. Thank you, Gloria. And wait till you get the statistics. Wait till we all the next data. And so it's shocking. It's shocking. Forbes just did a study that I want to share with you. Yeah.
The
Yes.
other thing I'm
Thank you.
hearing is that it's happening personally, not just professionally. That a lot of
Mm,
people are starting to recognize that they can be burnt out and they can go, but I'm happy with what I'm doing at work. I feel secure, but all the things around me are wearing me down, and it's making me wonder if I can stay productive at work. And I think that's a different way to look at burnout than what most people. In fact, I was listening to a podcast, and a gal that has written a book called Burnout maybe 2 or 3 years ago had mentioned that originally it was always looked at as a professional burnout. And now it is really being recognized as a personal burnout as well.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And uh, Molly and Christina next too. But I want to also put the tone on this. And I think this is very important. A couple things that I want to share is this is not many people think that this is like a personal um, defect or a character defect or something to be, it's in the kin of depression or for people to be ashamed about this. And what I think the revolution is for us as coaches and consultants is bring it to the light and to provide solutions. Okay. This is not a character defect. This is a conditional cultural thing that we're dealing with, and we have solutions. We have solutions. Yes. Yeah. Molly, you were jumping in, and Christina too. Yeah.
Kathleen, you must have been reading my mind when you spoke, because I that is what it's this, I work with a lot of high achievers, students and people in the boardrooms, and they are all, I have to do these things. I'm taking on more tasks in order to validate my worth. And now I mean, people that are entering in the workforce, they're already stressed, and then they're in the workforce and they're taking on more, proving their worth, proving their value, and they're getting promoted, and again wanting to prove their worth and value, and so they're taking on, and it's just, they're burnt out. They are burnt out, and now with layoffs, they're expected to take on more. So
Thank you, Molly. Yes, for helping us remember this. And a little subtlety here is, and I'm just going to slip this in for thought here, is how many of us are taking that same DNA and culture into our own businesses. I know that I have done it. I'm working on that, and I want to share just a quick little story in a little bit because hey, even when we start our own businesses, we're this is applicable to us too. So yeah, multiple levels. Yes. Christina, thank you. You were sharing.
Yeah, gosh, there's so much to this. I don't, I almost feel that, at least from what I'm observing, it's getting harder and harder for people to how do I say, like settle down, um, you know, or like, and be present. Um, I guess maybe specifically for like my philosophers group, I've definitely, I've had this running for almost 3 years now, and I definitely notice a difference between the way people would come into the group, focus, pay attention, and like enter into discussion. Now um, it's like they have to get something out of their system before they can feel like settled down. It takes a much longer time for us to really begin our discussion work. So I've noted, I just noticed that as a behavioral sign.
Yes. Perfect. Christina, thank you for naming it. And this is so important. And I think, again, we look at the data, we look at what's happening, we analyze it, and then we pivot to also at the same time, we're special people here. Our brains are always like, okay, what's the solution? What can I do to help us? And so, to pivot for a moment is giving your tribe, your people, your attendees, just like we did here when we started, a moment to decompress. Take a deep breath, clear whatever is in the way, because if it is not, it becomes depressed. So people need a way, and also to resource your tribe, resource them, give them ways to calm themselves down. Christina, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. And just also something that's so important is we have to look at our offers. I'm weaving this in here too. It's not in the description of the program, but this is really important. And I tell you, you'll not hear it anywhere else other than our council meeting. But the reality is, if our offers, our opportunities, our groups, our councils, our masterminds, whatever we're doing, if it seems like a lot more work to people or a lot more overload, they're going to say, I don't think so. They may subconsciously say, I can't take on another thing. How many times have you heard this? I can't take on another thing.
Another meeting.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Angela, feel free. Jump in now. Jump in.
I
So
think there's another side to it.
excellent. Bring it up.
You guys are talking about overload, and yes. But the other side to burnout is being underutilized. Thursday is the day after Wednesday, and Wednesday is the day I go to my day job. And yesterday was just one of those days where, with the exception of one thing, everything I did was just pointless beating my head against the wall. Or at least that's how it seemed. And it's just like, can this day please be over?
100%.
And and I see it not only in myself, but in throughout the disability community, and even I mean, heck, with the disability community everywhere. If
Everywhere, Angela. Yeah. Yeah.
where you're not being utilized according to your God-given skills and potential and your talents. If you're in a job where you can't do what you need to do efficiently because the software is inaccessible or even overly clunky, unintuitive, then it's going to burn you out, and you feel like you're carrying 100-pound backpack when you're really not.
Yes.
you know
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes.
and you're talking about the symptoms. I mean, my personally, two things. One, I feel like I turn into Grumpo Supremo, and two, I shut the world out.
Thank you for sharing that, Angela. Yes. So what a great point that you're bringing up so many great points. Thank you. Is when people feel like they're underutilized, they don't, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this wherever they're at in their corporate jobs, in their transition, if they feel like they're not being utilized for a higher purpose or any sort of purpose. Ladies, we talked about this before, apoptosis comes in when the brain says to the body, you are no longer important, you no longer have meaning, things are just not syncing up for you, the body says, okay, well, I'll give you something to focus on. You know what? Hey, your hip starts to hurt all of a sudden, or your back starts to hurt. So apoptosis is real. Our client, and so that's the mind-body connection that is also occurring is people are experiencing more and more chronic health symptoms, right? Yes, yes. So jump in with comments. Thank you, Angela, for your comment. And I want to share some really important data here that's really critical about what's happening. And of course, we all saw on the list here is, hey, exhaustion, chronic fatigue. And it seems kind of the antithesis that, hey, if we're bored in the work we're doing or we're not being utilized, hey, we're feeling that exhaustion and chronic fatigue, but it's true. So just as much as too much work is if people aren't feeling challenged, and as you all mentioned, they're feeling the confusion. And I want to jump into other reports that I've been investigating, but here's the data from Forbes. And, feel free to take a screenshot of this screen capture. And this is incredible. And I would love to have one of you read this. This is my sneaky way to rest my voice because I have other calls today. But more
I can read it.
importantly, get you involved. Yes, please jump in.
Okay. Job burnout at 66% in 2025. New study shows 81% individuals aged 18 to 24. Oh my God. 83% individuals aged 25 to 34. 49% individuals aged 55 and older.
Thank you, Patricia. Yes. Shocking, isn't it? I want to share that slide again because that is very, very powerful. What are you noticing here? I mean, the implication and the impact of this data from Forbes is astounding. And I wonder how many leaders, executives, HR, L&D, CHROs, et cetera, know about this. They may be experiencing it, but they don't know the statistics. So what are you noticing with these numbers?
Like I knew it was high.
Yeah.
Previous reports and things that I've read has been like 50%. And knowing that it was affected more younger workers.
Yes.
To see 81 and 83 for young people, to see it for Gen Z and even millennials is just really depressing. It's staggering.
It's astounding, isn't it? Yes, yes. And thank you, Gloria. And I just can't help it because all I see is opportunity, ladies.
Exactly.
All I see is opportunity for us because we all know that in the current workforce, they don't bless our clients and bless these people, but they don't have the capacity to do a lot of this kind of supportive work. They can only do what they're doing. They are so overworked. And that was one of the themes last Thursday in our corporate coaching and consulting challenge that we were hearing firsthand from Katie. What is happening now with HR and CHROs and chief revenue officers? What we're hearing with executives is the level of work and the level of meetings that they're going to are just astounding. Yes, yes. So opportunity here. Yeah. What else? I'd love to also have someone else jump in here. What are you noticing from these numbers? What's emerging for you?
Can I
Please, Christina, jump in. Yes.
can I talk about myself?
Of course, absolutely, absolutely. Because Christina, you just came out. I know you're not in the 18-24-year-old, but you're probably,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're in the 25 to 34, right? Yeah.
That's
Well,
so
we all were
sweet,
here, right? Let's just say that we're
Yeah.
all there. Yeah, we're all there. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming if they had reported on the data of the cohort between 34 to 55, they would have. But for me,
Yeah.
I can only assume that the cohort between 34
Yes.
to 50 would probably stay the same, like either at 83% or maybe even a little bit higher, because we're talking like peak homeownership, peak children,
Yes.
peak career, peak entrepreneurship, like, you know, second acts, beginning of third acts, like that kind of thing, a lot of responsibility. So that being said, I just have to say that I don't feel so bad now. Like I'm
Right.
like, oh yeah, well, if it's at like 83%, chances are I'm probably in the 83%. And for me, like that's big news and a relief, because I think burnout, I think burnout is like a pain threshold, right? And everyone is different. Some people have
Yes.
a high tolerance for pain, some people don't.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know where I am, but I personally feel shame if I don't have a high burnout threshold. And so I may be completely like maxed out and not be willing to acknowledge it because there's a stigma around it. So
Yes.
anyway, all of that is to say that I need to kind of examine some things, and this is really helpful information.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Christina, for bringing that up, because I think all of this is also experiential, is for us to examine, are we dealing with any of the symptoms that I mentioned a couple slides ago? The actual definition of burnout, a condition of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by excessive or prolonged stress on the job. And when you experience it, you know it. I remember distinctly. I was 40 years old. I was still in corporate, and I had the Sunday night, get on the plane, come back Friday night from the business trip, week after week after week after week. And I was a key employee in several different tech companies. And so I was traveling all around the United States, supporting my sales teams, my engineers. And I remember it was a Friday when I got home on a business trip, flew into Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, and I was supposed to meet my family in Charleston, South Carolina. Literally, I think about a 4 hour drive. So, for a fun family weekend, my parents, my siblings, we had it all planned. And I remember getting home from my business trip, having to repack and pivot and leave to go to Charleston for something that actually I had planned. And I want to tell you, ladies, I said, okay, I'm going to just take a quick little nap before I get on the road. I couldn't get back out of bed. And I had to make that terrible call to say, Mom, I just can't come. I cannot do this. I cannot get myself to do it. And of course, I felt so much guilt about it and so much shame about it. But that was, to me, that was burnout. And I spent the entire weekend in bed with the dread to think of, okay, Sunday night, I had to get back on another plane. Now, I had to. No, did I really have to? No, I did not really have to. But, this is what people are dealing with in the workforce is I did not have a coach at the time. I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the gumption. I didn't have the facility to push back and say, you know what? I can't do that this week. I choose not to do that this week. How about if I do this instead? So I just want to tell you, when you experience burnout, how many of you do you feel like you've experienced it? It is literally, yeah, it is literally an incapacity sometimes to move. And that's what I experienced is literally just, I mean, it's intense. It's different than stress. But notice for us as coaches and consultants, the stress is building that leads to the burnout. And we have this tremendous opportunity to support people before they get to that point. Okay. And I've shared with all of you so many times that the stress of the work that I was experiencing. So that was the episode before the episode of when I was in the intensive cardiac care unit. Okay. At 42 years old, thinking that I was having a heart attack. It was atrial fibrillation, okay, fast and irregular heartbeat, which no 42-year-old woman who's training for a marathon should go through. Okay. So this is an epidemic, ladies. I want to share with you. We have an opportunity to heal thyself, but also to make a difference in the world with this. People are crying for help. We have a great opportunity. Okay. So thinking about, again, your offers, what you're doing is how can you give people the ability to resource themselves, like having a valve to let off some of the steam? Your clients confide in you in such powerful ways that they get to let off some of the steam. Okay. So what you do, who you are matters more than you'll ever know. Okay. So I just want to pause for a moment and share with you just another slide about, what are the specifics of people? What are people saying? Why they're feeling this stress? What's emerging for you? What's coming up for you? What's on your mind here? Again, notice I'm just giving you a little release valve here. Jump in. What's coming up?
We don't see your slide.
What was the question, Kathleen?
Oh, I said,
again?
I said, what's emerging for you? What's coming up for you? Can you see yourself in the story of stress, 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 and then like complete and total, like, or do we would never name clients, of course, but are you seeing this for yourself in others? Yeah,
Can I?
Yeah, please. And Molly, Christina first, Molly. Yeah.
So I don't, I think again, it's different for everyone. And, you know, I've never, and I'm not like experiencing that crash, but it's almost like a, like a light layer of all of those things on that list. Right. And I'm just sort of like kind of cruising through. Um, and I am sure that if some of those things on that list were removed completely, I would feel better. So for me, the way it's manifesting, the way the burnout is just like a malaise or just trying to get through is really like what it feels like.
Yes. 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 Thank you. And so I'm curious also, we'll come over to you, Molly, and then Patricia. Yeah. How many of you are also experiencing a little bit of body sensation now? I'm noticing my back's hurting a little bit all of a sudden. I had a little coughing thing happening. So to go back and think about when we're complete with our call today, I'm going for a walk to get some sunshine, ladies. Okay. So heal thyself, right? This can be traumatic, excuse me, for us and for our clients. And also for us as coaches and consultants, if you were in corporate and you left corporate, one of the biggest things is healing whatever still is there for you around being in corporate, because it does elicit for many people a bit of PTSD, and that is real, right? Yeah, that's really real. And heal thyself, heal others. So yes, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge that because hey, when I see it, I say it, right? Like when you see it, you say it, right? Yes. Molly, jump in. Thank you. I love all the sharing. And Patricia, we're going to come over to you as well. Yeah, Holly. Molly.
What's coming up for me as I'm thinking about the clients that I'm working with is really teaching, especially those younger girls, how to speak up, how to push back, how to set boundaries, how to say no, and stand in it, not waffle, but actually to stand in it. And I can say right now, I'm feeling something that like this is urgent and action needs to happen right now to get these girls to use their voices and push back. So that they are not feeling, the tight necks, like you're talking your back, my neck, or and everything that Christina described as well. So I'm just feeling very inspired right now. So thank you.
Excellent, Molly. And aren't we as grown girls all a little version of our teen girls too? We just are teen girls that are a little bit bigger, right? Sometimes, huh? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Patricia, jump in. We want to get your voice in
Hi.
this conversation. How are you
Yeah.
enjoying the conversation?
Wonderful, wonderful. And I do branding, so I have been a supplier to big corporations and small business, but I've never worked like since I was 27. I worked for myself, and I look like hell because I've got a lung infection. I don't feel good. But anyway, I'm
Glad you're
okay.
here.
But so sorry. I look my age, damn it. Anyway, so I
And
just
age is just a number. We're glad you're here. Thank you. With loving kindness, we
thank
welcome
you.
everybody. Yeah.
So what I wanted to say is that when everybody was describing their clients who work in corporations, I started to feel really ill. Like I started to feel really stressed and sick because I've worked for myself for 27 years and I don't have, or not 27 years, sorry, 40 years. And I don't have any of those, issues. And I think maybe the 83% and the younger people, they need to work for themselves. Like I would coach them right out of that job because those jobs are so limiting. And I think you get more stress when you're not in control of your life, which I think is happening with the economy. People are not feeling in control. But anyway, good for you, coaches that are really helping these people because I got a lot of slack from my family, still do, for working for myself, but I would have had a nervous breakdown in a year.
Well, thank
I could
you.
not have done that.
Yeah, thank you, Patricia. And I think that one of our mottos is we support people where they're at. And
Yes.
so, everybody has a different experience. And I really appreciate you bringing that up and that great experience. And I'm also curious for how many of you, some of the best days of your life were when you were in corporate. For me, some of the best times.
Incredible times. I
Yeah,
can look
yeah,
back and cite all sorts of fun and excitement and things that went really, really well
yes.
that I learned from and was blessed to be able to experience. But I can also have some days that it's like, thank God I don't have to face that today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is that both sides of being in corporate sometimes that makes us better able to help the people who are there to understand the good, the bad, and the ugly that shows up in a daily basis. And also
Yes.
what they are hoping they get a result from somebody and they're irritated that it's not happening as fast as they want it to.
Yes.
And they forget that they have certain levels of approval that have to occur and the impact coming on those levels of approval is so outside of their awareness at times that it becomes difficult to help them to understand where they need patience,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
where they
And
need
helping
the
people with their
grace.
agency, right?
Yes.
Their sovereignty, their agency. Yes. Yes.
And where
Thank
they
you.
can show up as a leader by expressing how they can be helpful in those times without making it a judgment issue on why didn't somebody else do this.
Beautiful. Thank you, Susan. Yes. 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 Yeah. Gloria, Young.
Yeah, we have to also change the work world. I mean,
Yes.
it is great to coach young people because they need that help entering the workforce. And if we don't change the work world in terms of how we lead, then Molly's going to be super busy and she'll be burnt out because of all the work she's got to do to keep talking to folks with it. And so I think those of us that are coaches and consultants that work with companies, it is, it's incumbent upon us to help leaders and companies create environments that help people feel valued and recognized, that help people feel safe to bring up when it's feeling too much. And there's just like tremendous opportunity with that. And I'm excited because I've always focused with companies, and now I'm partnering with Stacy Wright at Heart Profit because she's got the mental well-being component, and we've got the high performance environment. And now we're creating a combined approach to recognize mental well-being issues, make it a priority without being a therapist. And it's a real focus on what's the environment that, how can we impact the environment that makes it more conducive to caring and high performance. So lots of work to do.
Excellent. Yes. And isn't that fantastic that the work you do, the work that each of you, who you are and what you do matters, right? Now more than ever. Now more than ever. Yes. Thank you. Molly, from you, and then I want to just share with you just some of the data, and then we're going to wrap up here. Yeah. Jump in.
To what Gloria was saying about changing the workforce, or the work environment. I read somewhere earlier this week the number of people, young people who are capable, that are choosing not to join the workforce, and that it's the highest percentage during a peacetime. So, Gloria, to your point, absolutely, we do need to change the workforce.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And we're the perfect people to do it, right? To partner, and also to think about that a sense of belonging. There are so many things, the offers and the things that you provide that only you provide, giving people a sense of belonging to not only the work they do, but the communities, their colleagues, to be able to transform their experience. And for some, the entrepreneurial path is going to be great. Others, the corporate path, or maybe it's even a hybrid, right? Yeah. So many options. Yeah. Great. So thank you. Thank you. I'm loving this. And so we've got the data, and also this, I just really important to share with you exactly what's fueling this. And you already know this, so I'm going to quickly go through it, but it's a return to office. My gosh, so many articles about, hey, this is causing stress post-pandemic, especially people having to come back to the office, concerns about AI. People, the reporting is obviously they're concerned about their job security. Okay. Is AI going to take over my job, right? Or reduce my job? Stress in the workplace, workload demands, having to do more with less, fewer resources. And many of you said this, Gloria, you mentioned it as well, is economic instability. Hey, and Molly mentioned, I think all of you mentioned it, is, hey, what's happening in the economy? Lots of uncertainty and fear. But the things, a lot of these things we cannot help with economic instability directly, but we can help. Hey, help the person, guide the teams, guide people to add more value, ask for the promotion. What are the strategies for promotion, or have an exit strategy, or when they receive, a RIF notice, reduction in force, what are they going to do next? So most of these things, it's not essentially what's happening to them, it's how they are reacting and responding. That's, as a coach consultant, you get to help people with the human experience of all of this. Okay. So thinking about, here's the list of conditions or situations. How can you then use your talents and your offers to help people overcome these? Okay. Empower people, help them with their sovereignty, resource them, build community. So much opportunity. Very, very exciting. Okay. So we know, we discussed this a bit as well, is, hey, I think this is a great opportunity to lean in and listen to your clients. Start listening. We were doing that last Thursday. Oh, it was a gorgeous program. In addition to all of our gorgeous programs, we were really listening to what our guest speaker was talking about, what's happening on the ground, okay, in the field. So I recommend, as a takeaway from today, get on the phone, set up a time to talk, 15-minute coffee conversation. Don't try to sell them a darn thing. Listen, what's happening? I'm curious. I was thinking about you. Authentically do this. Hey, I'm listening to you. What's happening? What's going on with you personally? When we complete our call today, that's exactly what I'm having. I have 4 of those calls scheduled this afternoon. 4 this afternoon. What are you going to do today? Okay. Lean in, get closer to your clients. You will never, ever, ever know by you reaching out to someone whether they're an entrepreneur or whether they're a corporate client. Lean in and reach out to them, okay? Because we know risk is ahead. And as I mentioned when we first started, some are saying this is the next pandemic. the implications of people experiencing burnout, excessive stress, who we know that it's impacting their health. We know that it's impacting absenteeism, morale, all kinds of things. And so we have to help our clients see around corners to what's next. And the balloon is going to pop. We know that. Okay. So I think part of the revolution as we complete here is, hey, burnout is a leadership and performance issue. Okay. It's not a wellness issue. It's not just that. Of course, it's a wellness issue, but it's not a character defect. It's not something that people need to be ashamed about. Is let's raise the visibility that there are solutions to burnout. Okay. And that there are opportunities, because when you see it, you can say it and you can remedy it. Okay. So there we go. Thank you. And one of the takeaways, I love the poet David White. This is part of my mandate here and I'd love to have one of you read this. I want to get your voice in here. This is his beautiful, beautiful quote. Someone would like to jump in.
I can read it.
Please, go ahead, jump in.
The antidote to exhaustion is not only rest. The antidote to exhaustion is wholeheartedness. David White. That's a good one.
You. Isn't that nice? Yes. So
love that.
Yes. Yep. Wholeheartedness. So exhaustion, hey, it's not only rest and recuperation, but wholeheartedness. And you have the ability to, through the work you do and who you are, to bring people together, bring people to around the table of soul, like Susan Younger does, or bring people together, even if it's a Zoom call. That's fantastic. When people isolate themselves, it's a tip that there's something going on. Okay. We don't have to be with people 24/7. We can't be with people 24/7. We need to recharge our batteries, but bringing people together, look what we did today in 50 minutes, 50 minutes. I'm curious put in the chat, how are you feeling now? What's your experience of how you're feeling now as opposed to when you came in? Okay. Check in with yourself and use this strategy with your people is get them to tune into their bodies. So some solutions that we can prescribe to our clients, of course, encouraging people to take time off. That if you can imagine, HR people tell me all the time that that's one of the hardest things they have to do is to tell people, mandate they've got to take time off because it's a cultural issue that has to be changed and can be changed. People cannot work 24/7. They can't be on their phones 24/7. Encouraging people to, hey, if DMs and pings from your text messaging string are bugging you, turn the doggone thing off. Just turn it off. You don't have to respond to everything. Okay. So take time off, get out in nature and use the wholeheartedness. What is it that you love to do? Why are you here? What's empowering to you? Change the lens and people will see something different. Okay. Educating people about the symptoms, really, really important. And reconnection. You are the best at doing this, ladies, helping people to reconnect with their purpose, their mission, their vision, their values, and examine what's truly happening. See it and say it and transform it. Okay. Help people, guide people to have the courage to see what's happening.
Thank you, Rose.
Did Kathleen freeze up or is it me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
she did.
Well, I gotta run,
Always
guys, 'cause I have a
podcast
full-
interviews. You are doing all kinds of things and you are not leveraging everything. And so next Thursday is all about how to get more leverage from your thought leadership. Really, really exciting. We're going to have a guest speaker come on to that program. And of course, the cool thing is at the end of the month, many of you have a lot of people in your world, in your orbit that want to say yes to you. But guess what? They're not converting to clients yet. So our program is all about how to take people from curious to committed and how to confidently close the gap. Okay. We open relationships and we're going to close that gap between being interested and becoming a client. And of course, fourth Thursday of every month, our quick reconnect for our STEAM faculty and founding members. Come join us. All right. So, what's your biggest takeaway from our time together? It's been rich, hasn't it, ladies? It has been so rich. And we love being rich, don't we? We love being rich in spirit. Carol, jump in.
I was taken aback by the younger people being more burned out than the older people. And of course, I immediately jumped to the conclusion that the older people are probably just as burned out as the young people, but they know not to own that.
There you go. There, thank you. Thank you. And you know, if we're in that demographic, I represent that comment. Hey, what do we know that we can share, right? And that's, hey, hello. This is mentoring opportunities. This is spreading the good stuff in the workplace, you know? There's again opportunities for all of us. Thank you, Carol. Jumping in, who else? What's a big takeaway from our time together?
Really insightful. I can definitely relate. You know, not only for myself, but this ties into hiring for champions.
It sure does, Angela. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love it. Thank you. Jump in. Patricia, biggest takeaway.
My biggest takeaway is I have a workshop tomorrow. So I'm going to start it with talking to the fears that everybody's having. And I mean, I've lived through so many recessions and things. And when it's everybody's pulling back, you pull forward, you go forward and you stand out more. So I'm going to speak to that tomorrow. So thank you very much. I really
You're
enjoyed
welcome.
myself.
Thank you. Thank you. Come join us. We want you to be part of our council. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, and by the way, I'm going to do some social posts. Repost with your comments from our time together. And guess what? We're going
Okay.
to repost you, and everybody's going to, all of us, we're going to just get a little ping pong going there or pickleball. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, we have 2 minutes left. What's your biggest takeaway from our time together?
I think for me is you know, talking about the stigma and this feeling like we're really in control of our burnout, and we're in control of the solution to our burnout, but a lot of times it's bigger than us. And we, you know, and we shouldn't feel bad about it.
Thank you, Christina. Beautiful. Yes, 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 yes. Gloria, would you like to add your final takeaways and comments and take us home, girl?
Sure. For me, it was the staggering statistics. I knew it was high. I didn't know that was mind blowing.
I know
how high it is. And what it does is just underscore the importance of what we all do, which is to help people in transition, to help companies and leaders be different so that we can not make this problem go away, but create different kind of environments to be able to deal with this stuff more effectively. So well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies, what a gorgeous time together. Hey, let's go out. Let's make a difference starting the moment we're done here. Okay, let's take some action and we get to change the world. Lots of love to each of you. Bye. We'll see you very soon. Okay. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Love you. Thank you. Thank you.